Hey everybody, Mario Menduni here. In this video, we're going to talk about some seasonality. Specifically, we're talking about with ShineOn products and other products that are in the family gift-giving niche. It's very important to know where you're at in your niche and where you're at in your trends. Okay, so there's going to be 3 or 4, definitely 3 times a year where family gift-giving is going to be a lot easier. That doesn't mean that we don't want to find and scale winners in the hardest months. What I like about the hardest months, and I'll show you an example of a winner from one of our students in August, is one of the top sellers for August, and he started with me from scratch. The benefit of finding a winner in a month like August, which could be the slowest month, according to my data so far this year, in specifically message card family gift giving, is that things are very, very black and white. You're going to have to test more quotes. You're going to have to test more variations. But when you get a winning concept and you develop it into your best possible version of it and scale it to a couple thousand a day, 5,000, 10,000 a day, and you also get to know the weekly patterns of your avatar and the intraday patterns of your avatar, you are so much stronger by putting in that extra effort, whether it's 5 times or 2 times or 10 times more effort in a slow month. Human nature will, and I'll go over this specifically in another video because I'm getting a little off track here, but human nature will make you want to give up or spend less money. And, that's why, what is it? Most people have jobs, right? Most people aren't entrepreneurs. Most people don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, millions of dollars a year. So if you want to be financially independent, you want to consistently make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars a year, you can't behave according to your natural human nature. You need to, when others quit, you need to double down, 5x down, 10x down. And your foundation of your business and your mindset will be that much stronger than your competition, than 99.9% of your competition. Okay. So back to the topic at hand. We need to know our seasonalities, right? So we have one of the bigger niches here, which are, gifts for wife. So obviously, as you'll see in all of these examples, the fourth quarter is where tons of money is made. Most of the money is made. And this goes back to my previous point. If you're going to do a gift for a wife, you're going to have a lot easier time finding a winning quote and scaling a winning quote in November and December than you will in August, right? And so the quote doesn't have to be as strong, and the design doesn't have to be as strong because there's a lot more to go around. The pitfall that can happen there is I talk to a lot of people giving out consult calls or they join my group and, they're like, yeah, I made, $250,000 or $500,000 in sales last Q4. And, I'm halfway into the year now and I haven't been able to find a winner. I'm like, well, how many products you test? They're like, 10, 20, 15. And I'm like, okay, when you found your winning product, how many variations of it do you test? They go, oh, none. I just scaled it. And that's how much easier it is here. So it's perfectly reasonable to, once you've been in this, to focus on Q4 exclusively. And that makes sense. But personally, I like to have a stronger foundation and get winners all year round. And then when you come to Q4, your ad account's warmed up, your processes are in place, you're mentally strong, you have the team behind you, and instead of doing $250,000, you're going to do $1 million, right? Or even more. Right? So in the gift giving for wife niche, this is one of my favorite niches, and it's evergreen. And there's still plenty of money to be made here in the peaks and valleys, right? You'll see a couple little spikes in addition to the main Q4. Right here you've got Valentine's Day, okay? And right here you've got Mother's Day, all right? Now if you specifically search Google Trends for a gift for mom, it becomes a lot more obvious, right? There's a little bump for Valentine's Day, but still primarily Q4, and then Mother's Day especially too, right? So in the gift for mom niche, you've got 2 easier times of it, right? Your winner here, unless it gets copied to death, which it might, will most likely be a winner for the fourth quarter. Or if it's not, then it's just a matter of how many variations of the quote you try, how many variations of the graphic layout you try. You can get a version of this, or maybe you Franken quoted in with another strong quote from something else. You can turn this one into a scalable winner here, whether it's version 1 or version 34. Right? Okay. So back to the gift for wife example, right? So again, we've got our 3 easiest times a year, 4 actually, 3. Okay, so we've got our Valentine's Day, we've got our Mother's Day, Mother's Day is the second strongest behind Q4, and then we've got Q4, right? So let me pull up a couple of student examples here. So here's a couple students. You may recognize some of these results if you watch Coffee with Michael in the ShineOn group. This was one of my success students that started with me from scratch at the beginning of the year. Now, we got their store going for Valentine's Day, a little winner, maybe around 50 grand or so. And then Mother's Day, we had a nice run. And then this example, we had a winner, a nice big winner for Father's Day, right? EPM just stands for my mastermind. This is Ecom Performance Mastermind. Okay, so here we have an example of a student that's playing the events, right? And, we got a nice 45-degree growth. They're following the seasonalities. I want to get them to a more evergreen situation, as soon as possible. But for their first year, they're on a nice run rate. And at this current growth rate, we can expect 1 or 2 winners for Q4. Everything goes to plan, they'll do $1 million or $1.5 million in their first year, and I want them to do like $3 million next year. And that's the run rate I want them to be at, right? Okay, next let's take a look at a student in the wife niche that is, having just had really good success in August. And let's see if I pull that up. Okay, so here we go. So this is another student that started with me from scratch this year, and we found a little bit of a winner, maybe a very small profit margin for them in the Mother's Day run, which was good, and got the ad account warmed up, and the student was able to learn a bunch, and then we hit the lull period, and then started into more evergreen testing in the husband to wife niche specifically. We have so much data in the husband to wife niche that we can really eliminate it down to some very basic concepts, and we can lean on the data. We know which products sell the best. We know which kind of backgrounds are selling the best. We know what kind of copy combinations between the adjective, the noun, and the body quote are selling the best. And I'll talk about that in other videos. But the nice thing about this student is, they were able to top the leaderboard in this 1 or 2 spot for August, and looks like part of July as well, and do some very respectable numbers in the hardest month of the year. And what that took, like I was talking about before, was just that many more iterations. You test a bunch of concepts, you got something worth developing, and then you rewrite the quote. You hire copywriters to rewrite the quote. You try a whole bunch of different graphic layouts, try new adjectives, try new creatives, and go more into depth on that stuff in this course as well on a case-by-case basis. And this is a great example of something that was developed from absolutely nothing in the slowest time of the year, and was able to get some great results. Now, the second couple weeks of August across the board have been the slowest I've seen all year. And now that we're into September, people are having great results again. And, we're talking about going back to school here. We've got and this is obviously we're in the family niche, and we get kids going back to school during a pandemic. I think it's particularly seasonally tough, but also you got to think about your customer avatar and gift for wife here, and make some speculations that match the data. Chances are that the husband in this case has, and not only husbands are buying for wives, but that's the majority of what we're targeting as men, right? So on Facebook, right? So the husbands are spending money on different things and time and money on different things with the kids going back to school. And so it's a little bit of a slower time. So we're still able to get plenty of profitability here, just, more like conservative 3, 4, 5 grand days versus these 10 grand type days. But this student has such a strong foundation. The amount of iterations of quotes and rewrites and the itemized testing of different graphic layouts that it took to develop this product. And I can't say the word develop enough. If you take nothing else away from me, if you are willing to develop products and not just keep throwing stuff against a wall, if you're willing to throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, obviously, is one way to get started, right? But when you find your outliers, your quotes that maybe they're not profitable, but they have potential, and then you try to develop them in a very systemized manner, which I'll teach most of, then this is truly a success. I mean, this this $200,000 run or so here really took the work, and this student is got such a strong foundation moving forward. It's the teach a man to fish versus give a man to fish. With with a Mother's Day winner or something like that, you might do something as simple as go on Etsy or Google and find a quote and slightly rewrite it or try a different background on it, and you do $250,000. But when you can do the same amount of money in a slow period, and also, by the way, over this entire period, I think there was less than a handful of days that weren't profitable, and you'll see the spikiness here. That's how well we know this particular niche. We know which days it's not even worth spending money on in a slow period, whereas everybody else is running ads. Not everybody else, but most people are running ads week long and with the same budgets on an intraday basis. We're doing what's called day parting, and if we do run strategies on the slower days, they're different than the strategies we'll run on the better days. And that's how not only are we able to develop a winner and scale it to 10,000 plus days in the slowest month of the year, we're also able to have it be profitable every day, right? Or almost every day, right? So I think I'll wrap this video up there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.